So, imagine working for the CIA, America's secret superhero agency. Only, instead of saving the day, you're, let's just say, experimenting with creative ways to make people talk. Now, imagine one guy inside this super secret world decides, hey, maybe torturing people isn't the best idea. That guy's name? John Kiriakou. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of how one CIA officer exposed one of the darkest and dumbest secrets in modern American history. But to understand how we got there, let's rewind to the moment the United States decided that the best way to fight terror was apparently to try it out themselves. It all started after September 11th, 2001. The US was in chaos, and everyone in power wanted answers, fast. Enter the CIA with a shiny new mission: find the terrorists, stop the next attack, no limits. Inside a secret meeting room, dim lights and about 3 different people pretending to know what they're doing, sits President George W. Bush, looking stressed.
Guys, how are we going to do this?
I've got something.
No, I have something.
Okay, one at a time, guys. This isn't Shark Tank.
Mr. President, what if we use psychological conditioning, fear, sleep deprivation, extreme temperatures to break their will?
No. Hear me out. Waterboarding. It's like drowning, but with paperwork.
You know what? I like it. Sounds strong.
And boom! The Rendition, Detention and Interrogation Program, RDI, was born. It authorized secret prisons, called black sites, around the world, where detainees would be interrogated by any means necessary. What were those means? Let's just say they wouldn't pass a kindergarten ethics test. We're talking waterboarding, sleep deprivation, beatings, rectal feeding. Yes, that was real. Extreme confinement, and mock executions. The Bush administration signed off on it, the CIA ran it, and the psychologists who came up with it, they got rich. So, the torture program was off to a fantastic start. If your goal was to completely forget the Geneva Conventions, but who would have the guts to say, guys, this is insane. Enter John Kiriakou, a CIA officer, counter-terrorism specialist. He wasn't some outsider or activist. He was the guy who helped capture Abu Zubaydah, one of al-Qaeda's top members. He believed in his mission until he discovered what was happening behind closed doors. He started hearing whispers about enhanced interrogation. When he asked what that meant, a colleague replied,
"You don't want to know."
That's usually the part where you really want to know. And when he did, he realized America had crossed a line, one that didn't have an eraser. But hey, the truth always comes out, especially when you accidentally invite a journalist to the party. Fast forward to 2007. John's out of the CIA, living a normal life, drinking normal coffee, when ABC News calls him for an interview. And that's when he drops the truth bomb. Yes, the CIA waterboarded Abu Zubaydah, and yes, it was torture. The CIA drops its donut. And the White House, they're like,
Wait, he wasn't supposed to say that out loud.
John didn't leak names or secret codes. He just confirmed what everyone already suspected. But apparently the government hates being embarrassed more than it hates terrorists. They charged him under the Espionage Act, a law for actual spies, claiming he revealed classified info. Meanwhile, the real torturers were busy cashing government checks. So, now we've got a guy in handcuffs for telling the truth. Welcome to the world where reality is satire, and satire is reality. In 2013, John Kiriakou was sentenced to 30 months in prison. Yes, the man who exposed torture went to jail, while the men who designed it made $81 million. That's right, James Mitchell and Bruce Jessen got rich consulting on how to psychologically destroy human beings. Meanwhile, John lost his job, his reputation, and his freedom, but not his conscience. He served his sentence, walked out with his head high, and became a loud voice for whistleblowers everywhere. Because in the government's logic book, torture equals patriotic, and truth equals prison. But what happened next? Did America finally go,
Oh, wow, maybe torturing people is bad.
well, sort of. In 2014, the Senate Intelligence Committee dropped a 6,700-page bombshell, a report confirming every awful detail. Waterboarding, mock burials, people chained to walls for days, and the CIA's response, basically,
Yeah, we messed up. But, can we not talk about it?
the Obama administration banned these techniques, but no one was prosecuted. The architects of the program walked free. Some even wrote memories about saving America. So, the program ended, but accountability never began. Which brings us back to one man, the guy who said what no one else would. So, here's the million-dollar question. If telling the truth gets you jailed, and torture gets you paid, what kind of system are we really living in? Was John Kiriakou a traitor, or the only man in the room who still had a conscience? Because if history teaches us anything, it's this. In times of crisis, truth becomes dangerous, and the ones who tell it become the villains in the government story. So next time someone says, "We don't torture," just remember, somewhere a psychologist probably billed for it.
2002, I was the chief of counterterrorism operations for the CIA in Pakistan, and my job was to try to locate Al-Qaeda fighters or Al-Qaeda leaders and capture them, to turn them over to the Justice Department and have them face trial. That was the original idea, not to have them sit in Cuba for the next decade. But we caught Abu Zubaydah. He was shot 3 times by Pakistani police as he was trying to escape from his safe house, and I was the first person to have custody of him, to sit with him. We spoke to each other extensively. I mean, talked about everything from September 11th to poetry that he had been writing, to his family, and then he was moved on to a secret prison after that. Once I got back to headquarters, I heard that he had been subject to harsh techniques, then euphemistically called enhanced interrogation techniques, and I was asked by one of the leaders in the CIA's counterterrorist center if I wanted to be trained in the use of these techniques. I told him that I had a moral problem with them, and I did not want to be involved. Torture is something that needs to be discussed. I said this in 2007. This is something that about which we should be having a national debate. And frankly, I have a First Amendment right to free speech. And, writing an op-ed is not against the law. Giving a speech about the Arab Spring or about torture is not against the law. And I felt that I didn't want to be cowed. I didn't want to be frightened into silence